What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. In today's video, I have a quick just topic of discussion. We can call it a tips and tricks video for MLB The Show, but it's going to be in regards to pitchers' ratings within the show, and a little bit of a fact that I feel like is not common knowledge, but should be common knowledge with player ratings. So like I said, this video is going to be quick. We're just going to go ahead and hop into our roster real quick, and I want to show you something with my pitching staff. This was something that I was actually having a conversation with a buddy about the other day, who is much more involved in MLB The Show than I even am, and he did not realize that certain ratings are not factored into a pitcher's overall within the game. So for a starting pitcher, for example, if I wanted to try to take Mitch Keller's rating up, you might think that increasing his control or increasing his break or his velocity would influence his rating in one direction or another. So let me go ahead into Mitch Keller, for example, and we'll specifically take a look at his control. When I go to his pitching stats and I go to control, I can take all of these up to a 99. And now that I've taken all of his control numbers up to a 99, I'm going to save those changes to that player. But the player's rating, his overall rating, is not going to change based on that whatsoever. In fact, he stayed at an 86 overall, a potential. You can still see up at the top of the screen that his control went up from 70 or whatever it was to 99. Likewise, we can take all of these numbers down, which I'm going to do for you. I'm going to go into Mitch Keller, take down all of his break, control, and velocity numbers so you can see the big difference dropping from 86, 99, and 96, and his overall will remain the same at an 86 overall. So you can now see that I've taken down his break, control, and velocity substantially down to a 79, 54, and 72, but again, he still stands at an 86 overall with a potential. So you might then be asking yourself, well, what does affect a pitcher's overall rating? Well, it's going to be all of those other ratings up on the top right-hand corner of that circle. The hits per nine, Ks per nine, BB per nine, home run per nine. Those numbers are going to influence the pitcher's rating as well as their stamina. However, something that will affect a pitcher's rating that is less pitching related than any of those other ones that we've discussed is their fielding. So in this situation, I increased Mitch Keller's fielding rating, individual fielding rating, up to a 99. You can see that now up at the top of the screen, and that took him up from an 86 to an 87. So you have to know what is actually going to influence a pitcher's rating in order to adjust ratings in the game, and make sure that you're regressing or progressing your players properly if you are editing ratings and reviewing ratings based on performance. As an example, my buddy was trying to influence one of his pitchers' ratings because he was having a good season and he was trying to get his overall increased, but he was trying to change the break, control, and velocity numbers, but those don't actually influence the player's overall at the starting pitcher position. This is in fact going to work exactly the same at relief pitcher and closing pitcher. We do have to keep in mind that the different ratings here are weighted differently for a starting pitcher, relief pitcher, and closing pitcher. Starting pitchers are going to be weighted more towards their stamina, whereas relief pitchers, closing pitchers are going to be weighted more towards their short-term attributes in clutch situations. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go into Diego Castillo. I'm going to take his break and velocity numbers down a little bit. He's an 86B potential, and same with David Bednar. I'll take down his control and velocity a little bit, so take a look at those numbers. I'll take them all down below about a 70, and we'll see that his overall is not going to change for either of these players. So now that we can see that Diego Castillo's numbers are down in the 70s for break, control, and velocity, or below 70, he's still an 86 overall B potential, and same thing for David Bednar, still an 86 overall with B potential, even though the only numbers that I edited were his break, control, and velocity. In theory, you would think that those numbers are going to influence a player's overall within the game. It's just simply not the case. I don't know why that is. There seems like there could be some logic behind it. I'm not really going to theorize too much, but I will say that it affects performance. The better break, control, velocity you have is going to change the way a pitcher plays within the game. So it is going to actively affect how a pitcher plays. It's just not going to affect their overall rating, and that's something that's pretty important to know and should be common knowledge among all MLB The Show players. I hope that this information was useful to you in some way. If it was, leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a good one.